now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your first fight of the night. Are you guys ready for our first fight in Greenville? Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to declare war. Three 3-minute rounds in the 185-pound middleweight division. This fight brought to you by the United States Army. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Buik. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Horne.
And now we're both in there. Let's go to Cyrus Fees for your announcement.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, 3-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first, the fighter on my right, fighting out of the FightDoctors.com, blue corner. He makes his MMA debut, fighting out of the 8 Limbs Combat, Summersville, South Carolina, Buik. And now, fighting out of the U.S. Army red corner. He fights out of Black Force MMA, making his MMA debut from Charleston, South Carolina, Horne. Referee Sean Woods.
All right, two guys both making their mixed martial arts debut. Both these guys have been training for a couple of years, but this marks the first time that they set foot in the cage. A lot of pre-fight jitters and nervousness out of the way. The cage door is shut. The referee says it's time to go, and we will kick off the first fight of the evening alongside my broadcast partner, Cyrus Fees, wearing two hats tonight.
Yes, doing it both.
And here we go. Front kick from Brock Buik to start it off. A good left straight finds its mark. Punches landing early for Brock Buik.
Absolutely.
Looping punches.
Man, wild punches here from both fighters. You can tell these guys are debuts, but hey, all the props in the world getting inside this USFFC cage.
You know, Brock Buik has a striking style. He uses Goshin Karate as his main martial art he trains. Then Carlos Horne, on the other hand, showing the signs of a wrestler. He was a trained wrestling in college.
Okay.
So now, you know, you saw Brock land a couple of strikes early. Sometimes when that happens, you revert back to what you know.
Of course.
And here we see Carlos Horne muscling his man up against the cage.
That's right. That game plan could go out the window real quick once the cage door closes. As you can see, just grinding him up against our corner pad there from Aiden's battle. Our great spot. And there we go.
Let's see. Looks like we had a accidental shot. Does happen from time to time in the sports of mixed martial arts.
It does. That's just one of those risks you take stepping in there. Obviously, with two debut fighters, the strikes are going to get a little wild here. He'll have up to 5 minutes if he does choose to continue. If it doesn't, I believe it would be a no contest at this point.
Well, safety is paramount here at USFFC.
Especially with amateurs. The South Carolina Commission is fantastic about that, and the great referees, Sean Wood, stepping in here. And, they're going to take a good look at it.
Brock Buik given the full time he needs, up to 5 minutes, to recollect himself, get the fight back going.
You can tell he has a little bit of gauge action going on in the ears. Yep. You can tell by the bandages.
The commission made him plug those up a little bit.
I'm sure. He's a tougher man than me just from getting the gauges, not to mention getting inside of a cage and fighting.
Looks like Brock is starting to get back to his normal self over the accidental shot.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to continue. Here we go. Wow.
Starts off with a head kick, barely misses its mark. You see Brock Buik turning the hips over. That shows you he wants to kick more.
There we go. See, yeah. Now he lands the low blow there. Pretty obvious on Carlos Horne. Carlos Horne just says, hey, I'm going to continue fighting.
Kicks coming close to finding their mark. Carlos Horne closes the distance, clinches up. Brock Buik with a strong over-under.
You know, it looks like he has some good technique, Brock Buik, but I mean, you're just getting raw strength right now from Carlos Horne, pushing him up against the cage, using that grinding style. And a lot of the times, if the skills aren't there, you got the power, just use it any way you can.
When you have a wrestling background, that's something that you know you can go to if in trouble. So far, we've seen Brock land a couple of significant strikes. A good left straight landed in the first part of the round, a kick or two. However, Carlos Horne seems to be the stronger, more physical man when it comes time to get up against the cage. Will this be enough to get him the nod for the first round by the judges, though? Body shots landing from Horne.
Staying busy, using some good clinch work there, and really using his strikes. Very smart. Not enough time do they utilize the body shots. You know, you see a lot of fighters, even when you go all the way up to the pros and stuff, they won't do it when they get to the ground. They're really utilizing the body shots there.
Body shots are those type of strikes that will pay dividends, especially at the end of the fight when they've started to take their toll, wear down on the fatigue of a fighter. Now the left side of Brock Buik starting to redden up a little bit, courtesy of body punches from Carlos Horne.
Well, you know, he came in as a white Buik, and now he's kind of looked like he has kind of a cherry red paint job on on the side.
As the fight goes on, the color of that Buik might get a little more pink. Swinging up with the left hand. Somewhat finds its mark from Buik.
Two young fighters out here at USFFC getting their shot on a very, very nice organization here in Greenville, South Carolina.
Carlos Horne looking for a single leg to try to finish off the match. The round. Doesn't quite get it. That could have been a good post-round takedown for the judges. You know, sometimes if you're at the end of a close fight, it's who finishes stronger.
That's very true, and I think that's where it might go with this. I think that round's kind of up in the air, to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one works out, Matt. And what an awesome card here, though. Once we get a little bit deeper into this card, when you talk about the title fights and And then those pro debuts. Well, you got one pro debut, and then, of course, Jared Scoggins looking for his second pro fight. But, man, this crowd's going to be electric all night, guaranteed.
Oh, man, what an incredible card. You could not be more right. I mean, not just Jared Scoggins, the younger brother of UFC fighter Justin Scoggins, also Tanner Saraceno, who recently was on the WWE Tough Enough show.
Where he did a great job, by the way, man. Just an outstanding athlete. You really saw what he was made of in that. But just it goes to show you, pro wrestling, very physical. Totally different situation, though, to say the least.
Very much so, and not to mention Jake Tubbs, one of the more exciting up-and-coming heavyweights maybe that's ever come out of this state.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Looking forward to that
Always
fight.
excited to watch him. Yeah, him and Tyrone Garner. And Tyrone Garner is our current super heavyweight champion. So you're going to have the heavyweight champ and the super heavyweight champ battling. So that's going to be a lot of fun.
All right, round 2 starts off similar to round 1. Brock Buik swinging wild, landing 1 or 2 of those grazing shots, but not enough to really damage his man. Carlos Horne muscles him up, back up against the cage, now has 2 underhooks. This enables Carlos Horne to really move his man where he wants him to go. Brock Buik responding with some kind of rabbit punches to the head.
Yeah, not a whole lot going on here as Carlos Horne just continues to push the pressure and do what he should. And it's not a bad game plan, to be completely honest, in your first fight. I mean, you get in here, you want to get your feet wet, feel what it's like. And, hey, that's exactly what these two guys are doing right now. Win or lose, what an experience for both of them.
However, Carlos Horne not doing much damage holding his man up against the cage.
And likewise, I mean, Brock Buik, same situation. Brock is definitely a big fan of the head kick, likes to use that big left roundhouse.
Spin kick.
Spin kick to the back, almost hit him right in the spine, did Brock Buik. And you can see he's trying to use that judo throw. He's just trying to throw Horne, but just the technique's not there right now.
Brock Buik showing some creativity in the striking department, looking like that's where he's more comfortable.
Carlos Horne doesn't look real comfortable with his strikes right now, to be honest with you, man. He's not throwing them out there with a lot of power. He just seems a little tentative when he throws. But he's got that great height for this division. You know, and both guys, obviously, man, if they really put in a good camp and really committed themselves to it, you're looking at 2 guys that could probably be down to 170 easy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep. Looked like I saw some foot stomps from Brock Buik, inside knees now. Now, when you have your man up against the cage, that's taking energy out of both fighters.
Oh, yeah.
But what do you think's exerting the most energy?
You know, it's interesting. I think Brock Buick's been on the tail end of it and really working to get out of the pressure of Carlos Horne. So maybe Brock Buik, but I think both guys are just kind of, you know, giving it their all right now. I think they're both starting to get a little bit tired. He's wrenching on that guillotine, and he may have something there, Matt.
Looks like he's got his hand under the neck. Can he get the gable grip up underneath that? He may have that.
He's got the height. It looks like he's hunched over.
Very uncomfortable, precarious position for Brock Buik. He looks like he may have got a hand out from underneath his neck. I think he's safe from the guillotine choke now, but still in a bad position.
No, and the positioning of the submission wasn't great in the first place, but a lot of the times you see with these fighters that are AMIs, that are, you know, first or second fight guys, they'll give up. I mean, they just, you know, they get in that situation. Brock Buik, to his credit, hung in there and fought through it. Listen, if you could gauge your ears, you could fight off a guillotine.
Yeah.
That's what I say. Final seconds here, and that's it, man. Just kind of wrenching on it there was Carlos Horne. And I would say that Brock Buik is actually probably getting the worst of it right now, to be completely honest. He's kind of slumped over, not moving around real well. I think Carlos Horne is starting to get a little bit of confidence, so we'll see how it translates here in the third and final round.
You know, here we get to the third round of the first fight of USFFC25. Been a fairly even first 2 rounds, but you can give the striking advantage to Brock Buik, maybe the clinch advantage to Carlos Horne. And in a close matchup, when it gets down to the wire in the deep waters of round number 3, that's where you find out what a fighter can really be made of. When fatigue has set in and you start to see that quit monster appear in the back of your head, alluring you in, telling you to come to him. But some fighters don't go to the quit monster.
That's true, and I hope neither one of these guys do. And usually the ladies never go to the quit monster. And we got 2 of those fights tonight. I'm very excited about that. Of course, our title fight, which is going to be incredible. Should just be a fantastic fight with Ashley Greenway and Shannon Goffrey. Man, I'm excited about that fight.
Those 2 ladies could steal the show.
Goffrey's been so amazing. Like, I love watching her. The fights that I've seen of her, she's just been incredible. And, same thing with Greenway, man. She's really had a great amateur career. So here we go, third and final round, Matt. What do you think?
I think Brock Buik wants to keep this striking.
Oh, dropping his hands, getting a little cocky for an 0-0 fighter.
And he pays the price, now clinched back up where he doesn't want to be. Buik has shown that he can use strikes to, win the striking contest. And now a great takedown by Buik, putting Carlos Horne on his back for the first time. In fact, I think this is the first time the fight has hit the ground.
Well, as you can see, Carlos Horne is trying to isolate that right arm, but nothing there. Now we'll see what kind of technique both these fighters have as far as like a real ground game. We haven't really seen that yet, so we'll see where these guys are at. Obviously, Carlos Horne, if he has the energy, he has to just try to explode and get out of there.
Well, Horne has a half guard, but not the type of half guard you want, because Buik's weight is still all the way on top of him. He's not on his side so much as he is on his back. You can posture up from a half guard like this if Buik can get his, get vertical up and start landing down bombs. But either way, top control typically gets the nod from the judges over the guy that's on the bottom. And here in the third round, it looks like the judge's opinion is really going to matter.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this fight, at this point, third round with two guys that are 0-0, it's a little ugly, to be honest with you, but these guys are out here working hard, and they're trying to get something done here. It just doesn't look real pretty.
Brock Buik looks like he was going to take his back, but opts to
nice side
go
control.
over to a side mount. Brock Buik putting all his weight on to Carlos Horne, who's going to have a difficult job getting out from underneath that.
No, he's going to have to either try to back up and wall walk, or he's going to have to explode.
Yeah, he's got to get his back
what's
up.
he have left? I don't know, man. I'll be honest with you. Both guys are gassed out hard.
Yep.
And Buick's just kind of laying there. We'll see how long Sean Woods allows that to happen. If no action's happening, he is trying to pass, though. So
looks like he did. Now Brock Buik in the mount position, exactly where Carlos Horne doesn't want to be, or any fighter for that matter. You don't want to find yourself mounted for any reason, but Buik able to do it. Both these guys showing signs of fatigue. Carlos Horne holding on for dear life.
They're just worn out.
Yep.
I don't blame him. If I was in there right now, I'd be
I
worn
would be
out
too. Yeah, you can tell sometimes a fighter getting in this position, you have to be active. You have to use your hips. You have to buck, just like he's doing right now. You have to buck those hips out of there. You have to create space. You have to get your man off you. For every second you spend under the mount of another mixed martial arts competitor, you are losing the judges' scorecard by the second.
Man, he is trying to finish right now, Matt. He is trying to get this thing done. Brock Buik looking for his first victory in mixed martial arts, and he may be on his way here with a decisive end of the round. It just all depends what happened in those first two rounds, man. They're both really up in the air. I didn't really see any advantage to either one, to be honest with you.
However, this round has so far been all Brock Buik. I'm not sure what Buik's doing. He's trying to...
He has great top control. Give him credit for that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, Horne just hasn't been able to do anything with him.
Dropping him. Buik tired of being held close.
Great way to end the fight. I mean,
well, Horne made a mistake. Instead of trying to buck his way out of the mount position, he just held on. Maybe he was hoping for a referee stand-up. You're not going to get that in the mount position when punches are landing like that. Could have just been he was tired, but either way, I think Buik did enough, especially with the third round, to convince the judges. But I'm not a judge.
No. I don't want to do that job.
We don't have to do that job, Cyrus. Now, Cyrus, maybe
I got two jobs.
I was going to say, maybe we could add another one to the plate.
They might.
All right, great fight to start it off. Now we await the judges' scorecard. Of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors for USFFC, the U.S. Army, big sponsor of the fight. Couldn't do it without you guys. Fight World Directory. Those are the guys taking all the cool pictures. Go check them out on Facebook, Fight World Directory. Now the judges.
All right, Greenville, let's make some noise for both fighters going the distance in their first ever MMA fight. We go to the judges' scorecard, and they read, Judge 1 scores this fight 29-28 for Horne. Judge 2 scores this fight 29-28 for Buik. Judge 3 scores this fight 29-28 for your winner by split decision, Brock Buik.
Brock Buik is your winner. He takes the split decision over Carlos Horne. Some creative strikes from awkward angles let Brock win the stand-up exchanges for the most part. However, Carlos proved to be the more physical guy in the clinch. The judges gave the nod to Brock Buik, and he wins his first ever mixed martial arts fight. And the victory pose with the Cage Girls for Brock Buik. And
Hey, Brock, come back here for 1 second, buddy. Take the mouthpiece out. There we go. You can even take the bandages off your gauges if you want. You don't have to do that. Hey, congratulations on the win. Anytime I see somebody get their first win, I want to know how they feel about that. Talk about getting your first MMA victory.
I just feel thankful that I'm here. I feel thankful for all the struggles I went through that made me get here to get this win.
So what's next for you, man? Are we going to see you back inside the cage soon? You already got the fever, or when are we going to see you next?
Yeah, I plan on continuing to fight. I'm going to fight again in December. If USFFC has something for me, I'll fight with you guys. Otherwise, I'll fight wherever.
That's what I like to hear. Brock Buik, guys, make some noise out here. First ever victory.